Hello my people, today I'll be showcasing the method to rebirth quickly in mini miners. If you've already completed the tutorial and now are stuck, skip to the time shown on the screen now. With all that aside, let's start. First, we will place 3 mines, 1 basic conveyor, followed by 3 basic upgraders, and our furnace. When we've made 750, we'll start placing 3 hyper refiners. After we have started to make 1500, we will replace our iron mines with copper ones. When we've made 2.5k, we'll buy a new furnace, then at 5k, a new electrifier upgrader. Thereafter, we're going to start spamming ore injectors until they start blinking, which indicates the upgrader no longer upgrades the ores. At 250k, we'll buy an amplifier. And at 500k, a new furnace. When we hit 1.5 million, we'll buy an orbital refiner. And quick disclaimer, the ores must be centered in the middle for this upgrader to work. Using a centering conveyor is a bit iffy, so instead, we'll buy a yellow teleporter sender and receiver. Now we prep for a new silver mine, so at 5 million, we'll remove our basic refiners. This is because the base value of the silver mine is larger than the copper mine. Now Once we've made 2 million, we'll start placing side enhancers. And as you can see here, only 3 ore injectors work for the silver mine. We'll place 8 to 10 side enhancers for 2 million each. Then the directional upgrader for 5 million. Now, space is a big problem, a huge problem. And so I went for 8 side enhancers, as we'll place 2 in between our 2 directionals. Now at 20 million, this is where it gets fun. We're going to start implementing emerald upgraders. We purchase 7 emerald enhancers and move our injectors and receiver to the opposite side of our base, and top it off with a red sender and receiver. We buy a new furnace for 250 mil, and then 2 rose upgraders for 2.5 billion. Thereafter, we'll buy the 5 billion mine, which has an even greater base value than the silver mine, so we no longer need the ore injectors. Then, 2 noxious upgraders. And at 50 billion, a new furnace. At 75 billion, we buy a nitrogen upgrader. It takes up lots of space, and so you have to make some adjustments. When we start making 150 billion, we'll use platinum mines. Then we'll buy one coal mine and a factorized refiner for 500 billion. Don't skimp out on this upgrader just because it requires charging, because it's very strong. A new furnace for 1 trillion. And a new mine for 5 trillion. A conveyor ramp to facilitate the overhang upgraders for 2.5 trillion. Now we need to rack up 10 trillions. Once we've made around 150 trillion, we're gonna wanna start spamming ore chargers. This would follow our emerald upgraders. This is where we start making so much cash. Then, at 200 trillion, a new furnace. A new mine for 500 trillion. And a slimy upgrader for 100 trillion. Then we're on to quadrillions now. a 2.5 quadrillion upgrader. At 10 quadrillion, we're going to replace our slimy with the raised orbital refiner. This is so we don't have to use another ramp again. And our slimy fits in well here. At 25 quadrillion, we buy a new mine. It drops fast, so we only need 1 or 2. And the base value is greater, so we can withdraw 5 emeralds. Then at 175 quadrillion, we can buy 2 flames and 1 mint. Thereafter, 4 mini upgraders. And if you're having trouble aligning these, buy mini conveyors, they'll help. And once we've reached 1 quintillion, we can buy a new dropper. It maxes out at 500 million. We have 2.5 quintillion, so we can just buy a new furnace. Our new upgrader requires a higher raised ramp for 75,000. And now we wait till we reach 10 quintillion. And there it is. Swift and speedy.